Hello, welcome to Pike Creek Farm. My name is Renee, and if this is your first time here, thank you so much for joining me. Today I am here. It is frigid cold in the thumb of Michigan, and I'm doing something that I enjoy doing, which is canning. And it's more exciting because this is part of Canuary. Canuary is a collaboration put on in January and organized by Leisa Sutton at Sutton's Days. And she has done this, and the sponsor of it is also 4 jars. So what am I making today? What am I gonna make? Well, I received, and I have a picture, a gallon bag of navy beans. And today I'm gonna use those beans to make a recipe to stock my pantry. I'm gonna make Boston baked beans. It's a ball recipe. It's in their blue books. If you have either one of these, it's in there. The recipe has not changed. It's been in many ball books. So I'm gonna make them. I've never made them before. They look wonderful when I see people that do make them. And like they're a nice, rich baked bean to have as a side dish, to use as a base for casseroles. I'm gonna do a double batch, and it should make about 12 pints. You can also do this in quarts. This is pressure canned. And I'm gonna warn you ahead of time, this recipe is not hard, but it takes time. So for me today, I'm not going out. It is, when we woke up this morning, it was -4 actual temperature, and it's -1 now. Woohoo! So I went out to take care of my chickens, and I'm staying in. So to make these, you have to prep the beans. So first you put the beans into a big pot, cover them with water, bring them to a boil for 2 minutes, and then take them off the heat and let them sit for an hour. And then you drain them, put fresh water, cover it up by an inch or two, and let it come to a boil, then turn it down to a simmer. Turn it down to a simmer, and then we're gonna do that until like the skins start to pop on them. Then we're gonna mix everything up in you can use a bean pot, you can use any baking dish. I'm gonna actually use the bottom of my roasting pan. I've seen people use the big Pyrex dishes. I thought about using my base of my crock pot, just the crock part of it. So then I decided on this. We mix the sauce and the beans, and they have to cook for 3.5 hours in the oven. They're truly baked beans. So let's make some Boston baked beans. The timer went off after an hour, and look how much liquid these beans soaked up. So I'm gonna empty them into a strainer, a colander, and rinse them, and then put them back in this pot. I'm gonna turn the heat up and bring these to a boil, and then you turn them down to simmer. So I want to watch it because this is pretty full. Make sure it doesn't boil over, but I'm not gonna be boiling them. I'm just gonna bring them up to a boil. On January 31st, turn into Lisa's channel, Sutton's Days. There's gonna be all kinds of giveaways. I'll have the time down below. There's gonna be all kinds of giveaways. Lisa's giving away some amazing prizes. A pressure canner, a steam canner. 4 jars has donated 3 packages, including one with a pressure canner. There's jars, there's lids. It's amazing. And something new this year, during the live, there's gonna be extra giveaways for the people that are on the live, where you have a chance to win. And here's one of the things. I am donating one of these choppers because I use it. This is my 3rd video, and it's my 3rd time using it. It's about to come to a boil. See, there's some bubble. Okay, started chopping the onions. The recipe calls for them sliced 1/4 inch. I don't want long slices, so I am using my chopper, and it calls for 3 large. So it's quite a bit of onion. Keep chopping until all my onions are done. We'll see if they all fit in here. Ends up being about 5 cups for a double batch, so about 2.5 for a single. These beans are boiling lightly. I'm going to turn the heat down and watch for them the skins to pop. That's what we have to do now. Watch for the skins to pop. Side pork. That's what I got from the Mennonite store. And it calls for a 1/2 pound, and I have just under 1 pound here, and that's all I'm going to use because I need to slice this up. The 3 large onions, which I already did, and then we need, and I did 6. Everything I'm giving you, I'm doubling, don't forget. 2/3 a cup of light brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of dry mustard, and 2/3 a cup of molasses. And if you want to add garlic or more onion powder, I mean, it has quite a bit of onions in it. But if there's any seasonings like that, smoked paprika, you could add that. But this is the traditional flavor profile for Boston baked beans. I have heard that my house is going to smell amazing. So I'm going to cut this up. Those beans should be done in just a few minutes, and then we will mix everything together. I'm just going to cut this up into pieces like this. And if you get the salt pork, don't be worried. It looks like a square of fat, but it is tested and safe with that. Just cut it up in the size that it says in the recipe. You can't have big chunks. There we go. Let me give a stir and see if these are splitting. They are. I see some skins. We're ready. I'm going to put my oven on to preheat at 350. Okay, I got a pan, and I'm going to put the beans in here. I want to retain as much of this liquid as I can. My husband started vacuuming upstairs. Good grief. I'm going to empty this liquid in. Ooh, that's nice. That's 4 cups there. Steam. So I'm going to put these beans in this. Oh yeah, look at that. That's a lot. I'm going to empty in my 4 cups of liquid and see how much more I still have here. Wow, I have another 4 cups, so then a little bit. I did not think there would be that much liquid in with those beans. I'm really surprised by that. I'm going to save this liquid in case I need it when the beans are baking. So I have this much on reserve. I didn't think this roaster would be this full. I was concerned I had picked out too large of a pan, but I did not. Put the beans, salt pork, and onions in a baking dish. So I got my pork. And now the onions. And I got more onions. It's a lot of onions. And you can cut back on the onions if you don't want this many onions, and that does not impact the safety. We need 2/3 a cup of light brown sugar, so I need 1 1/3 cups. Then we need that same amount of molasses. So now a third. Going to combine these and then add the dry spices. 2 teaspoons of salt. You can leave this out if you want. Okay, I need to double that. 2 teaspoons of dry mustard. Okay. I'm going to do just 2 teaspoons of garlic. Mix this up. Oh my, is it thick? I should have not added the liquid right away. So I'm supposed to add it to this. So I'm going to stir in some. It'll be fine. So now we're going to pour this on there and stir it all together. Now we stir. That molasses smell with the mustard and everything is just so good. And I'm sure when this pork starts cooking, okay, see, they're soupy, they move. So I think we're ready to put them in the oven. So I'll bring you back and show you the progress as we go along. But you know, now I just get to kind of relax and wait for the oven and the beans and everything just to do its magic until we have to jar it up. I don't have my jars ready yet, but I can do that now. This is about halfway through, and I did add that extra bean water. These are ready to jar up after 3.5 hours. I thought I might have to do longer. I did add more water because you want them soupy like this going in. But my husband's already had 2 servings. We're going to jar them up now. The beans are nice and soupy. I'm going to grab one of my jars, which has hot water in it in the sink, and we will fill them one at a time to the 1-inch head space. So, and you want to make sure that you have a good combination of liquid and beans. You don't want to have just beans. I love seeing how whatever I'm making looks in my jars. I just think it's great to see it jarred up like that. So here we're almost to the 1-inch mark. And I'm going to take my debubbler and give it a stir, make sure there's no air pockets in there. And then we have to clean that rim. I'm going to use some water. I have my lids right there in warm water. They're 4-jar lids. And so now we're going to clean that rim, take a lid, put it on, and then put the ring to its finger tight. You don't want to keep cranking it, and that's ready to go in the canner. So I'm going to keep filling the jars one at a time and following that same process. empty pan. This much left for dinner. Now I am just waiting for the steam to come out, and then I will put the timer on for 10 minutes, put my weighted gauge on. When it starts to jiggle, we have 80 minutes. Here they are out of the canner. You can see the beans more at the bottom, and then the liquid. We'll just let them sit like this. The beans will absorb more of the liquid, which is fine. And if you need to, when you heat them up, you just add some water. It's the next day, and here's how the jars look. They are saucy. So they look good. They look good. I had one jar that didn't seal. And if I can get it so, I'm gonna heat some up and we're gonna give it a taste test. But you could eat it right from this jar if you like cold beans. I know some people do, because this is a safe, tested recipe that was processed correctly. Let's do a taste test. They're very hearty, very rich flavor. You can really taste the molasses. Boston baked beans. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll have all the information down below for the drawing and all the other channels that are part of Canuary. And make sure to be there on January 31st. We'll see you next time at Pike Creek Farm.